Did you see my cooking segment?
Sandra, okay. Literally, for those of you who don't know, this woman doesn't cook.
Ever.
Like, she absolutely does not cook.
And I have a great kitchen.
You have a great kitchen, you have great appliances. If you open her fridge, there's literally takeout containers, like not even a condiment. That's how little she cooks. She doesn't even have mustard in her fridge. So watching her with Chef Isaac might have been one of my favorite things ever.
I think I insulted him, but we'll see. We'll see how the viewers like the segment. He was very serious, and since I don't know how to cook, and I'm definitely not serious, I'm not sure we were the best match.
You guys weren't a match made in kitchen heaven. I don't see a reappear in the near future.
I don't think so, but it was fun. Next, I'm talking social media with my friend Vita. We all know the fun stuff that floats around on social media, and I love a good dog video as much as the next person. But there's dark stuff out there as well, right, Vita?
I mean, on so many levels. I personally have a lot of issues with how social media operates today. I think that people are way too consumed by it, and I think it causes a lot of issues in our personal relationships, whether it's relationships with your parents and family members, whether it's relationships with your friends, whether it's relationships with your significant other. I think that people see you on social media and they react in a way where they wouldn't necessarily react if they saw it in real life.
And that's just one part of it. And then we get into like OnlyFans and apps like that, where you have these sweet young girls who have decided where they can make a lot of money just being naked or exploiting themselves.
Yeah.
And that's just another aspect of social media. And then you and I were just talking a few minutes ago about YouTube.
Yes.
For your daughter.
Yeah.
That you don't let her watch
I don't
YouTube.
let my daughter watch any YouTube. I'm a hard no on it. I think that a lot of parents use YouTube Kids as a babysitter. And I think that, you know, we like to give people grace because everybody doesn't have a nanny, everybody doesn't have somebody helping them, right? And there are times where their children need entertainment, but I don't think YouTube Kids is the answer, because you're basically sitting there. And when we were children, we were watching network TV, right? And
well, I was watching fairy tales.
You were watching fairy tales. I was watching network TV, right?
We're a decade apart,
so
or
like,
more.
So I was watching like Saturday morning cartoons, right?
Okay.
And that's on a mainstream TV network. Somebody's monitoring that content. It's not some random person putting it up there for your children to see. Now, people are sticking their kids in front of YouTube Kids like it's actual television from back in the day, and their kids are watching nonsense all day. And take the lack of, you know, intelligent programming away. You don't know what message is being sent to your child because there's just this overload of content, so nobody's monitoring.
So the
it.
content is just whatever anybody feels like putting out there.
Yeah, and YouTube Kids says they monitor it to a certain degree, but you don't know what's appropriate for your specific child. Say you have a 5-year-old, what's appropriate for one 5-year-old might not be appropriate for another 5-year-old.
And then also when we were talking about the other parts of social media with like influencers and how much are their lives real, are they fake, like, you know, what's really going on. I've seen like documentaries and people talking about how they pretend like they're on a private jet and it's like something in their backyard that they created, or a yacht, or, you know, just like a set almost in their backyard.
And you can fake the smallest thing. Like literally, I could be sitting here and I could put down, you know, my phone and a bag or whatever and take a picture of it, and you would have no idea where I really am, right? As opposed to if I took like an actual snapshot of what was going on.
And it may not even be your bag.
Exactly. It's probably not.
It could be a friend's bag. Yeah. It could be a rented bag.
And that's the other thing, like this material wealth that people become so obsessed with because they see it on social media, and the amount of people that aren't re-wearing outfits because they already posted it on Instagram. I mean, that's absolutely absurd.
But you also have these sites and these apps where people can rent their clothes, rent their expensive bags, their designer bags. So you don't even know where the outfits are coming from. So you may be watching an influencer or watching somebody that you know on Instagram thinking, oh my gosh, this person has this and that, but they may not. They may be renting for $150 a month.
Yeah, exactly. And which is
various
fine.
outfits, which is fine.
It's completely fine. Go rent your bags. But people feel this pressure to keep up with that, and I don't think that's right. Like, rewear your clothes. I rewear my clothes all the time.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I really think that social media has a role to play in this culture of disposable clothing, right? Like, you wear it one time and you don't want to be seen in it again. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Especially with the high designer stuff. Like, people are going out and you see these influencers and they have, like, you know, a $3,000 skirt on, which may or may not be theirs, may or may not have been gifted. And you see, you know, a suburban housewife sees that and goes and buys it, and then they wear it one time because they don't want to be photographed in it twice. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Absurd. And also, there's so much variety out there on social media, so I feel like the dating world has completely changed, at least from when I was younger, because you would just go to a bar and you would start talking to somebody and you would meet them organically and easily, and now there's so much out there where it's made dating so much more difficult because you can just meet the next person,
And 100%. And then let's not forget these young kids, like the teenagers, that innocently post things on social media and they don't realize that it's there forever, and they're potentially ruining their future.
Or they can get expelled from school.
They can get expelled from school or suspended from school. I know plenty of people that have made a tiny, tiny mistake on social media and have gotten kicked out of these schools over it. And the kid really, I mean, didn't do much wrong. They had a small indiscretion that any child would have, yet it's out there. Or think about somebody that posts something where a kid has no idea what they're saying might have racist undertones or sexual undertones, you know, very nuanced things that 10, 15 years later will haunt them, and they might not be able to run for office or something like that.
Well, when we were teenagers, I know for me, or even in college, if I had been on social media back then, I would have been canceled every which way.
Right? Absolutely.
Every which way.
And and also it's creating this permanent cloud of what you're saying, right? So what might be socially acceptable to say today might not be socially acceptable to say in 15 years from now. And then that comes back and haunts you.
100%.
And all of a sudden you don't have a career because you said this thing that wasn't even off color a decade ago.
And that happens all the time. And, you know, for our viewers, for people who are constantly comparing yourself to other people on social media and you feel like it's a major problem, I would say break free from it and get off of all social media. Like, you don't need it. You don't have to do this, and just take a break from it or get off of it completely.
I completely agree. I think there's nothing wrong with taking a break from social media and just letting your brain reset a little bit. I think socially, social media causes a lot of FOMO and jealousy, anxiety, like
PTSD.
You know, everybody's not on every dance card, right?
No.
Everybody's not invited to every party.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, because of social media, people find out about it and feelings are getting hurt for no good reason.
I mean, there are plenty of parties I don't get invited to.
I'm not invited to every party.
I'm not really invited to much.
It's fine though. I'm cool with that. But I think, we're secure people.
Yes.
And I think that there's people that see this and they're like, well, where was my invite? And they act out.
Yeah.
You know, they really do. Like,
100%.
they get really jealous about it. Do you ever feel like you want to take a break from social media?
No, I can't. I wish.
You wish.
But I have so much going on with my books and the show, and social media and content that no. So I don't, but I'm not on it comparing myself to other people.
Yes.
And I'm not really on it. I'm on it for a reason, you know, and I like connecting with viewers and just, you know, other social media people. And I love that part of it. But as far as comparing myself to other people, I'm like, I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I don't really compare and
I think
sort of thing.
that's great. And for me personally, I find it helpful where I find myself in a cycle of doom scrolling. And mine's not so much a comparison thing. I really don't do that. But I do go down rabbit holes on social media. And when I find myself doing that, like especially during, you know, a current events crisis, right? Like, like during the pandemic, I was the one that was up at 2 a.m., like clicking on every comment.
Actually, Vita during the pandemic
was a psychopath.
She wouldn't let anybody in her house. She was scrubbing her floors and making Chinese food. And
oh my God.
She looked like a crazy person.
Oh, I was a loony.
So what, you were scrolling on top of everything
I would scroll, and then like I'd click on a story, and then I'd click on the comments, and then I'd click on the link that went down the comments.
Okay, I didn't do any of that.
Okay, it was completely insane behavior. And I actually, it's funny because looking back on that, I think if social media hadn't existed during that, I would have probably had a much more peaceful 3 months of quarantine. I would have.
You would have been at peace.
I would have been at peace.
I was in peace. I was in la la land the whole time. So the takeaway from this episode is, if you feel like you're going down a rabbit hole, or you feel like you're comparing yourself to other people and it's causing you anxiety, just remove yourself from social media and take a break, or delete your account permanently. If you enjoyed this segment, share with friends and click that subscribe button. We'll be back in just a second with much more.